living organisms and their surroundings.
Things around us. Introduction. There are millions of different things in the world around us. These things differ in many ways. Some of these objects are alive and some are not. People, cow, sparrow, and tree are alive. But books, stones, chairs and tables are not. In this chapter, we will study the characteristics of the living things and non-living things. Differences. Differences between living and non-living things are shown in the table. Cellular organization. All living things are made up of cells. A cell is the basic unit of life. Some living things consist of only a single cell. For example, amoeba, yeast, and bacteria. Such living things are called unicellular organisms. Most living things, however, are made up of millions of cells. They are called multicellular organisms. For example, mango plant, rose plant, pea plant, man, housefly, dog and cat. Cells help in carrying out various functions like nutrition, respirations, excretion, etc. They are called the structural and functional units of organisms. Growth. Growth is a permanent and irreversible process. All living things grow from single cell. The pattern of growth, however, is different in plants and animals. All living things grow, whereas non-living things do not grow. Growth, if present in non-living things, is external as it takes place by adding matter externally, and it is reversible. Growth in living things takes place by the addition of new body material called protoplasm and is thus internal. Respiration. All living things respire. In other words, they take in or breathe in oxygen from the air and give out carbon dioxide. The oxygen is used to produce energy from the food consumed by the organisms. The energy thus produced is utilized to perform various activities by the living beings. Excretion. Excretion is the removal of waste materials from the body. Accumulation of waste materials is harmful for the body. Waste materials are excreted mainly in the form of urine, sweat, and carbon dioxide by the living animals. Simple unicellular organisms like amoeba and bacteria remove waste through their body surface. In case of plants, carbon dioxide and water vapor are excreted from small pores in their leaves. In some plants, wastes are given out in the form of gum or a thick fluid called latex. In case of trees like acacia, a brownish sticky substance, gum, is found on the tree trunk stem. Gum is a waste given out by acacia plant. Similarly, if you break the twig of a rubber plant, you will find a thick fluid coming out. This is the latex. Latex from the rubber plant is used in many ways like tire manufacture, etc. Reproduction. All living organisms have the ability to produce young ones of their own kind. For example, a cat produces kittens who grow into adult cats. A hen lays eggs which hatch into chicks, finally producing hens or roosters. A mango tree bears fruits which possesses seeds. The seed develops into a young seedling and in due course of time into a tree. This means that living things can make more of their own kind. Lifespan. The lifespan of some organisms are given below. Euglena. The unicellular organism Euglena possesses characteristics of both plants and animals. It lacks a cell wall like the animals, but contains the green pigment chlorophyll, a plant characteristic. Cell structure. Plant cells are surrounded by a rigid cell wall. Cell wall is lacking in case of animal cells. Then, inside the plant cell are structures called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts contain the green pigment, chlorophyll, providing green color to the plants. But the animal cell lacks chloroplasts. Differences. Differences between plants and animals are given in the table. Classification of plants. Classification of animals. Terminology, definitions and examples. Phanerogams. Flowering plants which have distinct roots, stem, leaves and flowers. Gymnosperms. Flowering plants with naked seeds. Example, Cycas, Pinus. Angiosperms. Flowering plants which have closed seeds. Example, mango, bean. Dicots. Plants whose seed have two cotyledons. Example, almond, sunflower. Monocots. Plants whose seed have only one cotyledon. Example, maize, wheat, rice. Cryptogams. Non-flowering plants which do not have distinct roots, stem or leaves. Example, algae, moss, fern. Thallophytes. Simplest plants which are not differentiated into roots, stem and leaves. Example, rhizopus, mushroom, yeast. Bryophytes. True roots and stem are absent, but some may have leaves. They grow on damp walls, rocks and barks of the trees. Example, moss, rica. Petridophytes. These complex, non-flowering plants are differentiated into roots, stems and leaves, but do not bear seeds and flowers. Example, ferns, deodar. Vertebrates. Animals with a backbone or vertebral column. Example, snakes, man. Physis. All types of fishes. Example, shark, sardine. Amphibians. Animals which can live in water as well as on land. They reproduce by eggs. Example, frog, toad, salamander. Reptiles. Dry and scaly skin Except snakes, all the other reptiles have lungs. They crawl. Example, lizards, snakes, crocodiles. Birds. They have wings and fly in the air. Example, pigeon, parrot. Mammals. Animals which have mammary glands that produce milk. They reproduce by giving birth to young ones. Example, man, cat, tiger. Invertebrates. Animals which do not possess vertebral column. Protozoa. These are single-celled animals. Example, amoeba, paramecium. Porifera. Multicellular organisms with pores on their bodies. These remain fixed to a particular place. Example, sponges. Coelenterata. Body of these animals is made up of 2 layers. Example, hydra. Platyhelminthes. These are leaf-like and ribbon-like worms. Bodies have 3 layers. Example, tapeworm. Nemathelminthes. Cylindrical body and round in shape. Example, roundworms. Annelida. Cylindrical body but consists many segments. Example, earth. Arthropoda. Their body is differentiated into head, thorax and abdomen. They have jointed legs. Example, spider, cockroach, scorpion. Mollusca. Soft body enclosed in a hard shell. They live in water. Example, snail. Echinodermata. Marine animals with spiny projections on their bodies. Example, starfish, sea urchin.